Hello, Rick here, and this video explores a potential future for BAJOR from the end of DS9 onwards, as depicted in Star Trek Online. In several books, the future follows similar lines, but with some distinct differences, especially with the admittance date of BAJOR into the Federation, so I'll briefly reference these events as a maybe scenario at points. Honestly, Star Trek's memory beta is full of contradictions, just like the show is, so this is why I mostly consider the shows as primary continuity, but for as of making this video, there is no show set past Nemesis's conclusion in 2379. So, Cardassia had a tough time of things after the close of the Dominion War, and much of their time was focused on rebuilding what they'd lost with some minor support from the United Federation of Planets. The irony was not lost on many people, as BAJOR found itself in a much stronger position, as its long-awaited petition to join the Federation was finalised. Cardassia found itself in a similar position at the hands of the Dominion as BAJOR had at the hands of the Cardassian Union. To see some more on the fate of the Cardassians, check out the video titled Post-Dominion Cardassia. BAJOR's petition to become one of the Federation's 50 member planets had its roots back in 2369, when the Cardassian occupation ended and the Bajoran Provisional Government reached out to the United Federation of Planets for help in rebuilding its agricultural sections. These efforts continued for the following year, and soon BAJOR made its intention to join the UFP known. Starfleet installed a presence on the orbiting mining station left by the Cardassians and renamed Terra Deep Space Nine. Benjamin Sisko was assigned as the Starfleet commander of the station and was charged with overseeing Bajoran and Starfleet interests. With the discovery of the Alpha Gamma Quadrant wormhole, Commander Sisko claimed the anomaly for the Bajoran people and repositioned DS9 to guard its entrance. This wormhole took on great significance for the Bajoran Republic, not only for the added prosperity through trade and attention, but because it matched ancient Bajoran prophecies of the Celestial Temple, the home of their gods, the prophets, and the origin of their orbs. The orbs being artifacts that could, rarely, bestow visions and possess a myriad of time-space properties. They named Sisko their emissary, the effective voice of the prophets, a position he was careful not to abuse. Over the following years, BAJOR flourished and rapidly developed into a model Federation world, with a few hiccups along the way. The Treaty of BAJOR was signed in 2375, closing the Dominion War. With the absence of Captain Sisko, Deep Space Nine's command transferred to Colonel Kira of the Bajoran militia, with the USS Defiant at her and the station's disposal. Later this year, in some books, she was attainted or excommunicated from the Bajoran faith for her involvement in uncovering heretical teachings from Bahala that judged the prophets as teachers, not deities. Despite her choosing to retain her faith in the prophets, she released the teachings for people to examine for themselves. Eventually, her attainder status was undone, but many Bajorans now viewed her as an active party in religious matters. It's unknown if this rings true for STO's future, but the end results have her walking a similar path. In 2378, she resigned from the militia and returned to BAJOR to study for the role of a Vedic. Her studies lasted 3 years. In 2379, the female changeling was trialled and sentenced for her war crimes by the Federation. BAJOR and a number of affected worlds also began to demand the return of property lost during the Cardassian occupation, and trials for many officers involved in the acts. Cardassia does not agree with these demands, and not long after, the accused officers disappear. Cardassia is accused of protecting them. Meanwhile, the Ferengi Alliance has been maintaining close ties with BAJOR since the end of the Dominion War, and Quarks is granted the status of an official embassy by Grand Nagus Rom, who himself is married to the First Lady, a Bajoran woman, Lita. So as you can see, he has a vested interest in keeping ties with the system. In 2382, Ro Laren is released from Federation custody, having joined the Maquis years prior, and returns to the BAJOR sector, becoming the security chief of DS9. 2 years later, BAJOR resumes its petition to join the Federation and is effectively fast-tracked to its membership. Considering the history the planet had in supporting the Federation, the process would still take another decade for formalization. Stardate 64471.6 2387. The Hobus supernova erupts, and in 2388 the Federation and a number of partner worlds including BAJOR offers aid to the Romulan people. In 2392 a Bajoran man, Shad Onar, ran for the office of Federation President and came third in standings, but was offered a position in cabinet by the victor, a Saurian named Anik Okeg. A year later, BAJOR is officially welcomed into the United Federation of Planets. The Bajoran militia steps down as the Republic's primary defence force and instead becomes a planet-wide police force. Many who were in the Bajoran militia take commissions in Starfleet, which assumes the responsibilities the militia once had. By 2409, Kira Nerys had been voted in as Kai, and had been operating in this position for some time, while command of DS9 had been transferred to Captain James Kurland. It seems that as of the year 2409, Sisko has yet to return from the Celestial Temple. So there we go, that is a brief summary of the state of BAJOR after the Dominion War, and things aren't perfect. They still have some who don't agree with Federation membership, but on the whole, they're doing a lot better off than many other powers. So, I'm not certain how I feel about the appointment of Kira as Kai. I get that her faith was a big deal for her character, but I never saw it as the deciding factor of her life. The only way I could see her taking the position, if offered, would be if her people truly needed her, because she's always gone the extra mile to help those in need. She is very patriotic to BAJOR, so I think she'd adopt the mantle if it was required of her, but not out of choice. Apart from that, yeah, it's pretty much where I expected things going. Not as eventful as Cardassia, Romulus, or even Starfleet after the Dominion War, but that was the outcome the Bajoran Republic had been striving for since their liberation from Cardassia. So good for them, they deserve a break. Plus 2409 was Kira's last year as Kai, and by 2410 Starfleet reactivated her commission at the rank of captain. I want to do another video on looking at the Bajoran faith itself from a bunch of texts we find in game, but that's kind of a separate topic, so I'll do it as another one of these lore bites, smaller episodes. I get not everyone who wants to know the lore is interested in the actual game, so I'm trying to make more of these smaller vids on specific topics, alongside STOS Chapter 3. Let me know if you'd want more of these, or are happy to see them tied into the main series. Anywho, that's all for this vid, so until next time, I hope to see you again, and I look forward to the Picard series counteracting everything I've just compiled. Bye now.